Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 of our quarantine film study series. We have a real privilege today. We're going to be talking Aaron Donald in defensive line play with a man that taught me so much about the position, and really I hold in the highest esteem when it comes to the nuances of pass rush. A lot of people will talk about it, but Coach Waufle is someone that can really get into the weeds and help players. And the laundry list of those that he has coached up and helped grow. We were together with the Giants for a period of time, and I'm sure you guys remember some names like Michael Strahan and Osu Manura and Justin Tuck. And it was a pretty impressive group put together there. There's a couple of rings on some fingers due to making Tom Brady's life a little miserable there. But Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, you're welcome, Dan.
So you had picked out going through some of 2018 and 2019, specifically looking at some of the production and wanted to just kind of unpack some of the things that Aaron does so well. And so we're going to dive into those starting with 2018. But as always, need to say thank you to a couple groups that made this possible for us. The first being Telemetry Sports, a tool that allows us to help make these cut-ups that we can bring to you guys. And secondly, need to say thank you to the NFL for providing Game Pass. While we're counting down here the number of days, they're still providing it free through May 31st, but it is something that we encourage people to pick up for the duration of the year. That access to film is invaluable, so thank you very much to them as well. All right, so let's go to the beginning of 2018 and, again, talk through what makes Aaron Donald special here. And so just as I'll try to mark up Aaron for everybody before the snaps, just so I can show the audience where he's at. And then we'll run it through, and then I'd love to obviously get your breakdown on the things that he's doing that really makes him special in these situations.
Okay, if you could freeze it right from the start, okay? Now, the things that happens is that if you read the book Art of War, and you know thy enemy, you know thyself, you shall not fear the result of 1,000 battles. His study starts obviously with the offensive lineman. So the secrets when you're studying an offensive lineman, if you study the leg or the foot closest to the football, that's the set foot. Okay, that's a set foot. Now it's either a short setter, a deep setter, or an over setter. End of story. Now you study the foot away from the ball, the farthest away from the ball. That shows his body, okay, what his body does. He's either a leaner, that hip turns, it'll turn and open the door to the quarterback, or he has no anchor and he comes back easily. Those are the only three things, okay, that you study. Now you have the hands. No brainer, if both hands come at you, he's a puncher. No brainer, if both hands come outside the frame of your body, he's a wrapper. Then you have the inside hand, okay, and you have the gap hand, which is closest to you. I call it the gap hand, okay, and or no hand. So there's 5 things: a puncher with 2, a wrapper with 2, inside hand, gap hand, no hands. End of story. So all during the week they would study, and then on Thursdays we would put the rush plan together. And Aaron and his backup I'd say you're up, and they would tell me, okay, this guy is a oversetter, okay, he's low hands, all right, and he has no anchor, and that's how they defined it. You could only do the 3 things. Then what we would do, we would match up to the rush plan. So on this side right here, now Aaron, when he's out a little bit wider in his alignment, he's taking advantage of 79 because he's an oversetter. So he's setting up. He knows he's going to overset when Aaron's wider like that. So he takes the inside move. The next thing is we study the protections. Okay, we study the protections. There's no backs right here, so it's empty. Okay, so there's 3 receivers on one side, there's 2 receivers on the other side, and that center is going to go to one of those sides. And it's either the 3-man side or the 2-man side. Okay, for him not to come to Aaron Donald, that's insane. Okay, it doesn't matter. But that's part of the study too. So that we know the protections. Okay, so in no backs, it's all based on numbers. I'm not going to get into it. It's very simple, but it's not worth getting into. Okay, so go ahead and run the film, Dan. You ready? There you go. Okay. All right. So as he does this, okay, as he comes with the inside move, it's just not the inside move. It's more. Okay. He's got the inside move. He knows he has it. You can see this guy's an oversetter. He got low hands. He can get him. He doesn't have a chance to get Aaron. All right. Aaron comes through, but he just doesn't rush and just think, oh, I beat this guy. He goes, see how he gets his hands to the back of the center? He's making sure that center honors him. Okay. Now you can see the other defensive tackle is coming to the inside, and he attracts the eyes of the center, and the center's in limbo. But now, once he's to that point, once he's to the back, and once you get to the back of the blocker, and end of story in pass rush, that's the main objective, to get to the back of the blocker. As they say, oh, get by the hip and all that. That's not good enough. Okay. It's not good enough. All right. Get to the back of the blocker, and then you're going to get home free.
So just to bring that back, you talked about being an oversetter here and the width of this alignment. So I just want to, obviously we're doing a little bit of teaching for the people at home, but that's all designed to keep this or get this A gap even wider, correct?
That's correct.
So as the 79 comes to set out for him,
yep.
That's opening up that window.
Yeah. Now, if you notice the track, Aaron does two different things to set it up. He lines wide, but then watch his initial track in his rush. It's a speed rush up the field. So he's selling the speed rush. And 79 is just like panicking, okay, because I gotta deal with Aaron on my outside. Now, 79 studied the film, and he knows that Aaron's got a great move on that side, and we'll talk about that later. That's kind of unstoppable. All right. So he's ready for that. And so he gets the inside move, and it's a beautiful thing.
Man, that's impressive.
Yeah. The next thing is when you go into a quarterback, okay, you're trying to get the ball. See how he's no matter what you do, you're trying to get the ball out. You're going to get your hand near that ball, no matter what. But this next thing is when you tackle the quarterback, okay, and he's doing it, okay, you roll your body, you turn your body, you roll like you're wrestling an alligator. We practice it all the time. Like you're rolling, you want to turn. Now watch how he keeps rolling. All right. So the quarterback, even if he did try to throw it, okay, he's rolling like that, and it takes his body out of position to be able to throw the football, which is it's also winning too. Okay. If even he tries to throw it away, it's not going to be completed down the field. So that's called a gator tackle, and that's how you finish. And the other thing that I taught was to tackle right through the midsection. Okay, Aaron likes to tackle high; he always has. But tackle through the midsection. Okay, right there, and then you stay away from the helmet. Okay, and you stay away from the legs, and you're not going to get penalized.
Makes perfect sense. All right, so not a good day here for 79. Going to get the matchup again.
Okay, this is it. This is what I was talking about, what he was scared about, okay? Now, he has low hands, okay? So the matchup, he's going to come over the top with a chop, okay? All right, now let it go. Let it go. This is Michael Strahan got his last sack in the Super Bowl in his life with the chop club, same rush, okay? But he comes over the top, okay? And then but again, now Aaron, he knows he beat the man. He's over the top because he has low hands, right? So he comes over the top. And you don't, as you can see, can they see my hand?
No, sir.
Oh, they can't. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right. But what you do is you open up your hand like really wide, okay, like you're raking, and you want to hit with your forearm, hard, with the whole forearm. You don't do it with just the hand on top of the arm. You want to do it with your forearm, the whole forearm to come down, so that way you ensure and as close to the elbow as you possibly can, okay, with the chop. And that's the key. Because your whole purpose is to control the upper arm of that blocker. You got to control the upper arm. If you control the upper arm, it's martial arts. I did martial arts in the Marine Corps a lot. And if you control that upper arm, and you got to get to the back, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, okay, in martial arts. but the upper body movement, if you're going to try to get behind a man, okay, to take him out. But it's the same principle. You got to control that upper arm to get to the back. Okay, now go ahead and run it. Now his hands are so fast. You can see the second move. See what he does with his okay, so he hits with the first hand with a chop. See how the second hand's controlling the upper arm? It goes to the tricep. See what it's doing? Right there. It goes to the You're controlling the upper arm. Okay. If you go way to the back, if you go way too far to the back, okay, he can still use that arm. But when you get to the back of that tricep, you control the upper arm, and that's the whole purpose of it. Now again, and Aaron is Russian, and this is why he's so good, because you never stop. You never think that you're making sure he gets by, okay, by getting to the back of 71. And he gets to the back of the arm, and he gets to the back of 71. Now the hips are turned. The offensive blocker has no chance whatsoever, none. Okay. Now he takes his left arm right here. Okay. Instead of ripping high and running, you don't rip high and running. You take that point of the elbow. And you throw it back into the blocker. You don't rip the run. You take that point of the elbow, and who's ever listened to this right now, I'm sitting in a chair. So rip halfway, take that point of the elbow and just throw it. Try to get it to the back of the chair that spins around, and your hips turn. I would never, ever run a hoop anymore, okay? Because this runs the hoop. So if you look at Aaron's right hip, when he throws that elbow back, okay, it turns his feet right into the blocker, okay, when he did it, okay? So you can see his feet right now are pointed right to the quarterback. All right, let it go. See how he spins them? Now, Aaron just likes to body slam people, you know. He just loves doing this. He just loves doing this, okay? But
so again, to your point, he clubs at this ball again.
He's going for the ball, number one, and then you spin him so he can't throw. See, that's the key. You spin him so you can't throw. And so if you just tackle him and try to get the ball, you know, you miss the arm, and he still can throw it down the field. And this is a key thing on the quarterback. And they're not gonna flag you. It's just, it looks like you're just laying the guy down.
Now you mentioned before his hands are so fast, and just to bring it back for everybody that didn't see it, so his left hand, he gets this chop here, and then with his right hand, he's going to get that back of that tricep, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I call it club. It's a club, but the point is to get to the back of the tricep. Control the shoulder. You control the upper arm. You control the shoulder. You control the man. You control the upper arm. You control the shoulder. You control the man.
And he does it beautifully there.
Oh yeah, he's a great technician. A lot of this stuff was happening in my backyard.
So I think we're going to have Aaron here, if I'm not mistaken. This is 2018, so I think he's got Sweezy on this one.
Yeah. Now, this is and one thing about Aaron right now, okay, is he comes and he's rushed these guys a few times, so he knows, all right. But right now, okay, go ahead and run it. See the guy's inside foot? He's a short setter, okay? You see it? He's a short setter, all right? Okay, and then he is a puncher. So Aaron has got his hands on the outside. He's a puncher, and he's got his short setter, okay? But now he just goes right there. He goes into him, lets him have his body, but watch his shoulder turn. See how you can't even see 99 right there? For a second, it turns. So every great pass rush, okay, has shoulder turns somewhere. Okay, now watch his right arm. Go ahead and let it run. Okay, see how it comes back. See how it follows through. He's trying to get to the back. See, watch that arm. Watch the right arm. He's trying to get to the back. See, watch him follow through. He's not assuming. He wasn't assuming that he was free, and that's all part of the rush. Okay, let it run.
And we're twisted again.
Yeah, call it Gator. Gator's better, Dan. Gator. A lot better, like wrestling an alligator.
So talk me through this a little bit more here. Just the preparation for coming back inside on this crossface move when you feel that jump set with that punch. What's he need to do with his feet to get himself in position to come back across?
No, he's going in and let him have his body. See, he's going in. It's okay to let it. Sometimes it's okay to let the blocker have your body because your jerseys are so tight it can't hold you. Okay. Now what he does is he gets his hands on the outside of the frame because he knows the guy's a tight puncher. You know, he's a tight puncher. But watch when Aaron Aaron, at the moment of truth, what do you think he's pulling on? He's pulling on the back of the tricep. He's pulling on the arm. Okay. And then see how he pulls on the tricep? He controls the upper body right there. You see it?
Yeah,
He
check
pulled
him
right
right
on
back.
the tricep and threw the guy forward. Okay. Throws him forward.
Not a good day for Sweezy on that one.
Oh, man, you guys are getting all the secrets, baby.
We're enjoying it. We're enjoying it here.
And all the secrets.
Right, so let's look at Denver here. I think this is Alex confirmed. I think this is Leary he's got.
Well, this is what's awesome, okay? And this happens to him a lot, all right? So you can see, and most centers are going to do this. You see there's no backs, and this is what the first center of the Vikings should have done. The offensive line coach, really? Come on, man. Okay, this is what he gets a lot. But at the same time, okay, he's like, he gets out there and he's trying to get the same inside move that he just did. It's exactly the same, but the center's there to meet him, okay? And now he's stuck. But he knows right now, but he gets his eyes on the quarterback, and what he's doing is saying, okay, I'm right here. I know it's empty. I know the ball's going to come out fast, okay? And I'm going to be in position now to be able to just, play volleyball. I'm going to say, let's play volleyball. My daughter was a volleyball player. Play volleyball now because we're going to try to knock the ball down if he throws it in my area. Go ahead. So he's in position to play volleyball. See what he's doing? See? He's waiting, and all of a sudden the guy takes off, okay? Well, Aaron's 4'6", okay? So go ahead. Good luck. Yeah. This guy falls down, so he just pancakes him. I love it.
I just like how he's got the presence of mind to make sure he stays in all the throwing windows there.
Yeah, he's in good football position. I mean, that's why he was voted the #1 player in the NFL. I mean, he's special. But we did all these movements, okay, and what I call MMT, master my technique. Slow becomes smooth. Smooth becomes fast. Speed wins in the NFL. We do all these things I'm talking about in slow motion. The guy that's matched up with him, he is the offensive lineman. He does the setting. He does the outside foot body language, okay? He does the hands exactly how the blocker is all week long. That way you don't have to worry about a scout team guy trying to do it because they're not going to do it. Used to ask them to do that, and it's worthless. They might do a play and then they forget. Okay, so we got thousands of reps, and at the end of my career, I basically threw every sled away except for the pop-ups. The pop-up rush things. That's the only thing I would use. Okay, because I did a lot of bone on bone, flesh on flesh, and I said, "Oh, it hurts. Too bad. It's what you get paid for." Okay. But we're doing it. It's a physical game, and then you're actually performing more repetitions on the man itself. And in martial arts, what do? You don't have sleds and stuff like that. And I was the biggest sled guy ever. I had some of the most beautiful training tape ever. But in modern day, 2020, you don't need them anymore. And I think every high school coach will love it, okay? Because you just work bone on bone, flesh on flesh, and I'm talking about run game and everything, okay? And I'll get into the power rush and how it goes hand in hand with the run game in a little bit. Okay, go ahead, Dan.
So you talked about the inside foot, outside foot, in this case of the guard. So when you're seeing 75 here with his toes pointed the way he is, what's going through your mind in terms of what kind of set he might take?
Well, I think obviously the outside foot all the way across the line, it's pass. You got it back in the backfield. You know what I mean? Look at how their outside foot's back. So everybody on the other side, I don't know what the down distance is, but if it was 1st and 10, everybody's thinking rush the passer because you're looking at the body language of the offensive lineman. But sure. You just study again, Dan. It's right back to the week study. I mean, you already know what 75 does, and it's percentages. He'll do something else, okay? But we play the percentages, okay? It's going to be 80 to 90%.
Makes sense.
Overset here. I love him. Okay, all right. So now the center comes, okay, and Aaron again. All right. So what he does now? Watch what he does to the left upper arm. Go ahead, run it. Watch what he does to the upper arm. He gets into the center. Okay. See what he does to the upper arm. See it? He puts his arm. He gets right there. Gets his arm right up by the elbow, And look what he does to the upper arm. So you do the upper arm and he's got it. Look what he does. See what he does to the blocker. See, it's the upper arm. See, if the upper arm controls the shoulder. See, he doesn't. He's right there. That's the secret right here. Now, I wished I had this stuff when I was coaching the Giants, man. I mean, this is stuff that this is stuff that I developed after coaching the Giants. Okay, some of it, a lot of it's the same, but some of it is different. Okay.
So we saw this, this move with him coming back into the A gap before. And again, you mentioned him pinning that outside arm. I just wanted to show people again how consistently, when he gets that arm over again, he follows through with that.
No question. Never stop your hands.
And then sets up a second move on the second blocker.
Yeah, but what he's doing is he's going right to that upper arm. You see.
How many guys were you around that could string that kind of stuff together? Have the presence of mind to come off a one and take two.
Well, let's watch 90 some. Let's see what Michael Brockers. He did a lot of that stuff. What you're doing is I only taught 4 things. I only taught 4 movements, and we just did them over and 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 over again. And then what we did is we matched them up to the blockers. So I taught everybody the same. It didn't matter if it was Morgan Fox, who just signed again with the Rams, and he came from the University of Colorado, Pueblo. And then Chris Cooper, who was with me at the Raiders, and he went to the University of Nebraska, Omaha. It doesn't matter if they come from those small places or if they come from LSU like Michael Brockers. Same stuff. Same stuff.
So let's see what he gives 68 here.
See, Michael, look at Michael Blockers right here. Look at Michael. Michael's over there at the right end. He should never be over there, but they did crazy stuff with him. Watch the same thing. Same inside move, all right? Okay, see it right there?
Yep.
See how his hand came back? You can see his hand came back, but he should have finished it more. He should have finished it more. The back picks him up. The back's not there. Guess where Michael is?
Sure.
See, so you asked me, did I teach the same? I taught the same stuff to everybody. The only guys that are playing right there that I coached are 90 and 99.
Okay. So 99 here, he's got a loop a little bit. So what are you thinking here? You got to come to the C gap.
It's a blitz. So that's Wade Phillips. He called see the backer dropping off. Okay. So it's just a zone dog, okay, and it's an illusion as if they're bringing 5, and they're not. They're only bringing 4 with a blitz look, okay. And then you can look at and they'll freeze it, stop, okay, right there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. So blockers, okay, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6, 7. So you have 7 blockers, okay, 7 blockers and 4 rushers. All right, go ahead. Look what he does. See the lift that he gets right now? Okay, now run it back, okay? Now, let's talk run defense, okay? So get around right there. Let's go. Keep going, and stop. Let's stop run defense. Now, every time we get off, the reason you got to get off, okay, is to get into the offensive alignment as quickly as possible, no matter what, run or pass, okay? Got to get it to him as quickly as possible. Learn this from Jack Youngblood. Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen taught him that you have to close the distance between you and the blocker as quickly as possible. Then you have to close the distance between you and the running back as quickly as possible. Or you have to close the distance between you and the quarterback as quickly as possible. And that's the whole thought of get off. That's what get off's there. So in the run game, I teach exactly the same thing as power. It's a power rush or bull rush. Okay, I don't ever call it a bull rush. I called it a power rush because you have to have power. Power is strength times speed in a physics lab. On a football field, it's force times velocity in a physics lab, but it's strength times speed on a football field. So you're putting your strength and speed together. Now, reason Aaron is what he is, okay? He has power beyond your wildest dreams. He's Mike Tyson, okay, that just has a gift, okay? He's the Russian in the Rocky movie that just when he punched the meter, the thing that registered the power of his punch. That's Aaron Donald. But right here, don't matter who it is. So when you're gonna power rush, okay, or bull rush, all right, you're doing the exact same thing in the run game. So we did this at the Giants. I came up with this word, and I said we got to lift the blocker. And Strahan goes, "Wow, that's the word, man. That's it. We got to lift the blocker." And that's what we started doing that back in about 2004, and started lifting blockers. And you can see Aaron right now. He's got both hands in there, but you just don't lock out. You lift the blocker with your entire lower body. Mike Tyson knocked guys out because the punch came from the ball of his foot, not from the upper body. It's the same concept. So you put all those big muscles into the lift. Okay, watch what happens. Go ahead. Watch the lift. See how he lifts them right there? And he's lifting them. Okay, keep going. See how, look at the offensive lineman. He's lifting them. Okay. And right there it is. And then what happens is if you see the blocker's shoulders turn, you lift to a long arm, okay, which he uses the left arm, and you just lift to one arm so he can't hold you, okay? And that's what he does. And look at how he turns the blocker's shoulders. Now, I know Aaron used straighten the left arm out because I saw the blocker's shoulders turn. So that's cause and effect. Simple stuff. That's exactly the same thing I do in the run game, okay? So you're going to lift, and if it's going to your left, you go to the long arm, to your left arm. The long arm's your left arm. And you're going to lift, and if he's going to the right, you go to the long arm, okay, to the right. And what happens, coaches, okay, I go, I don't know. It's one of the coolest things ever, and I just don't know how it works. But when you lock that arm out, your hips will catch up. They will follow that arm. They will follow that arm. I used to tell those guys, we used to have a drill. It was called a pop back drill. I put them in poor position, and they just lock out that left arm, and they look at that left hand, and the hips just go over there like a magnet's pulling that way. Big secret, man. Okay, big secret. And I do this. So when you want to talk bull rush and power rush with Mike Waufle, I do the same thing in the run game. It's exactly the same movement every single time. You get it. You're gonna get into the blocker, and all of a sudden he's going that way. You might be behind the block, but if you're doing that, your hips are going in that direction, and the blocker is going to be put into the hole. Okay, so your genius coordinators out there sit there and used to go, "Hey, my God, you're supposed to be in your gap." I'm not in my gap, but he's in my gap. Okay, and he's going in that direction. Okay, it don't matter. Somebody's in that area. We're just not in the area. And so many times we knock blockers back. Running backs will run right into the offensive lineman. Okay, who's in our gap? Okay, and then all of a sudden the blocker comes to us. Okay, so that's kind of how my philosophy works on that. It's not a textbook by no means. Okay, all the time, but it works.
Clearly, and got his results here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're lined up over on this side. Now he's at left, on the left side, I should say.
Yeah, left three. That's a three technique. Now this is the same. This is a pressure again. Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, it's the way they're doing it. He's looping outside. It's a 3-man rush. Okay, and so what they're doing is they got 96. See how 96 Matt falls behind Aaron there.
Yeah.
He's just covering. Okay, so this is really a spy situation. Okay. But, look at Aaron anyway. So when he does this now, all he's doing, we just go through the pop-ups. You see again, he's doing the same. See the shoulder turn? See the shoulder turn clubs? Okay. No, wait back, go back. Okay. The first movement. So, watch what happens to his shoulders. Watch 99. See, keep going. You'll see it when it first hits. It's hard to catch. It happens fast. But every great rush has shoulder turn. Okay. But again, watch him follow through. He'll follow through. And then the blocker falls down. He followed through. Now look what he does to the next blocker. So what he does when the guy comes, okay, now look what he's doing. He's taking he doesn't rip the run with that right arm. He does not rip the run. He stops halfway, okay, and then he points it back. He brings it back in towards the blocker, and that's what turns his hips so fast. Okay, right there. All he's doing is that mechanic. You just take that elbow. He's taking that elbow, and I know he's doing that, okay. Because that right elbow controls his hips, his left hip. That's why his hips turn so fast. So he takes that elbow and throws it back. Let it go. There's no hoop. It doesn't have to have a hoop. You don't need a hoop.
So that's an interesting thing, because the theory of the hoop stuff's been around, and in fact, I've seen people measure cornering or assess the ability to corner by watching someone run a hoop, maybe with like a tennis ball down on a cup to pick up as you're going along. Talk to me about, so if does this mechanism work for everybody? If you have a player with more hip stiffness, can you still get this kind of cornering with that mechanism?
That's what it does. It turns your hips. It's well, here's the problem, okay, with the hoops. And John Turling, God bless him, he just passed away on May 10th. He was my mentor. He taught me everything in the beginning. He's the best defensive line coach in the history of the NFL. Results, production, all that stuff. And he taught me all this in the beginning. Well, it was a hell of a lot easier back in the 90s when he was running the hoops, okay, because the offensive linemen were not as good as they are right now. I gained all kinds of respect for every offensive line coach and for every offensive lineman in the National Football League. And for me to think, or anybody to think, that you can speed rush on a regular basis, you're crazy. You can't. You can't, unless you have the speed. I mean, you're Von Miller, okay, or Mack. Those guys. Well, they can speed rush because they have that kind of speed. And when you have that kind of speed, those hoops are good. Now, I'm not against the hoops, okay, but I'm more for the combat. It's combat now. I mean, it's just the way it is. And you can control your own body. You can, again, I'm gonna say it 100,000 times. You don't rip to run. You rip halfway, and you take that point of the shoulder and try to stick it in somebody's back, okay? And then you get to the back, and you can't sit in the chair. You can't sit in the chair. You can sit in the chair. You can move your arms like you're running, okay? And you're not going anywhere in the chair. But if you stop halfway and you take that elbow and you try to stick that elbow in the back of the chair, look what happens to your hips. Watch your hips. You can stand up. You can stand up and do it. You can't stand still. Your hips turn. And that's what he's doing with that arm. It helps turn your hips to get turned to the quarterback. Go ahead.
It's a fascinating piece, like I said, because it differs from what a lot of people get taught in the evaluation space. And so I really like hearing you talk that through, because I think it'll be really helpful to people to grow in that eval space.
Man, this stuff. If you watch Michael Brockers doing the same thing, run it back. These guys used to all the time. They run that back. Look at number 90. He's doing the same thing. Watch his left elbow. Watch his left elbow. Right there. You see it? Watch his numbers. Watch his numbers. Right? Go ahead. Keep going. There. You see it? All he's doing is just taking that freaking elbow right there. That left elbow. See it?
Yeah.
That's why his body turns like that. Look at his hips.
Yeah. He's fully pointed at the quarterback.
His hips. Yeah.
It was a bad day at the office for that quarterback.
Right.
All right, so here we are, the right three technique.
Yep.
For everybody at home.
See, now look what he does. See what he does? Okay, now watch. See, you know what I used to do when I watched pass rush with the guys? I never look at them. I just watch the offensive lineman all the time. I want to see cause and effect. So I watch the offensive lineman here, okay, and watch it. Aaron destroys him with his right arm. When he makes the decision, look what he does with his right arm. Okay, watch the blocker. Just keep going. Watch the blocker. See it? It was all the right arm. All the right arm. See, he made that right arm longer, okay? All he did was put his force behind that right arm and straighten that arm. And look at the blocker's shoulders.
Not the direction he wants to be pointed, that's for sure.
No, but that's how you turn him. It's that long arm.
So you talked about the power that he's able to generate. I mean, just watching him get his hips all the way through when he gets that extension. I mean, he unloads so much power. My goodness gracious!
But anybody can do it now. I'm just telling you, anybody can do it. It's body mechanics. You can go out and try to move a rock, okay, with a hammer. But then if you get one of those big old crowbars, you're going to move it a lot easier. There's no difference. It's physics, okay? And if you get good leverage, you can do this with anybody. You know how you teach martial arts, and you can teach martial arts and you master 150 movements and you can beat a man, okay? But we're not mastering 150 movements here, okay? We got 4 things we're doing in pass rush, and one of them is the exact same thing we do in the run game.
That simplicity is beautiful right there.
Yeah. See, if you watch Michael run it back, you watch Michael Brockers, he's the left end. He knows when it comes to the truth. See how watch him lift the blocker, and then he uses his right arm to go to the one arm. Okay, now watch. He's in position. See, he puts his helmet down. He's lifting him. Okay, and then he handles him with his right arm. You see it?
Yep.
Right. Go. That's it. And see, all he had to do is just outload, and then he escapes off of it.
Just never stays in that fully locked out position. Like you mentioned, they keep getting underneath one shoulder and taking it that way.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and you watch, you take the Rams back when I was coaching them all at the end. Okay. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. Okay. And we didn't have a winning type team. Okay. And we were ranked like top defensive line in the NFL. All right. And that you watch those guys work. I mean, holy cow, it's fun to watch, man. Robert Quinn, Chris Long, William Hayes, I mean, they're fun to watch, man. Fun to watch.
Yes, they were.
Fun to watch, All right, go ahead.
Right 3 technique again.
That's speed, but watch his hips again. Watch his left arm. When it comes to the moment of truth, go ahead. It's a speed rush. It's just speed. See his left arm right there. There it is. See, he did the elbow. That's how he did the elbow right back. You notice you see so many times you guys are ripping to run. See, you used to watch them run and rip, and how rip would be almost behind their head. You never see that with Aaron, okay? Because the secret is take that elbow right back into the blocker, and that turns the hips. There it is. It's just a speed rush. I mean, that's what I do on a speed rush too. I mean, if I had my gathers, okay, I'd rush like this every time, but it doesn't work.
I'm just interested in this track too, because he widens a little bit just to mess with set points.
Yeah.
This is again something you think is on film study. I was expecting him to be a little bit shorter, and then he just bends around it.
Yeah, I mean, look at he just knows it. He knows the guy's an oversetter, and he knows he turns. Okay, so run it back. Okay, so he's right now 66. All right, watch his inside foot oversetter. Watch his outside foot. He turns like crazy. So Aaron knows he turns. When they turn like that, you can speed rush. See it? See how he turns?
Yeah.
It falls right back to the beginning of this tape.
That preparation, that study is clearly very impactful, and he translates it well.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things, like right now he's got his inside. Look at his stance. See how it's different.
I was going to ask you about that because he switches up to his other hand.
Yeah, he knows he's getting an inside move right now. He's making it look like he's going to run a track. Like he looks like he's about ready to run the freaking 100 meters. Okay, and he knows he's going inside. He's doing it on his second step, on his first step. Go right there. Watch him go. First step, bam. He comes right off. He knows he's going to hit it on his first step.
Because he switches to his other hand.
Yeah, he knows right now because he's going to hit him. He's going to hit him with the inside move on his first step. It's either his first step or his third step. But he decided to do it right away. It's his first step, and he hit it. I just love the way he. But you notice, okay, he has his own little way of spinning the quarterbacks, okay, and he loves this. Just stand up and throw him down. That's just him. That's his little signature.
I'm just watching that right arm again as you keep talking about combat and him slinging it back here again. Yeah, always making sure that hand's not connected.
Yeah, but you notice, Dan, that he doesn't rip the run with that arm. See, he keeps it halfway so he can turn the hip.
He's having a good day at the office there.
It's the greatest thing about Aaron Donald, okay, and all you coaches out there, you can teach him. He went to the University of Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh shares the same facility as the Steelers. And Mike Tomlin and I are good friends, and Mike came up to me at the combine, and he goes, you'd be proud of your boy. And I said, why is that? He goes, it's probably about 6 days, wasn't even a week yet after the season was over with, and I'm up in my office at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I look out the window, and he's walking into the facility to work out. And his car was there almost the whole day.
It's a different mentality.
Well, I know, but I mean, if anybody wants to be great, that's what you got to do. remember I asked Michael Strahan, if you look at Michael Strahan's statistics in his formative years, okay, there was no production. And then all of a sudden I asked him, I said, Michael, what happened? He says, Waff, I just woke up one day and I just decided if I'm going to do this, I might as well be the best. And, and he had to work hard to do it. And I can honestly say the best years that I ever had as a football player, I had the best off-season training. And you can't fool any game. You can't play golf. You got to practice golf. It's anything. You can't fool anything. You have to work hard at it. So if you want to win a world championship, you got to work hard all the time.
Well, Aaron certainly does that.
Mm-hmm.
So Sweezy gets his second shot at him here in 2018.
Well, okay, he's trying. He's get both hands in there. He's trying to get to the one arm, but he's got so much body lean into him. So he starts in there, low pad level. Again, I wanted to have a license plate. Low pad level equals feet. Okay, LPL FEET. I wanted a California license plate. I wanted to have that, and I told the guys that because low pad level does equal feet. Okay, and so it doesn't matter what you do. You come in there with low pad level. Okay, you lift the blocker. And you get to that long arm. Now, look what he does with the right arm, okay, at the end, because the shoulders are turning. Watch the shoulders of the blocker turn.
Yeah.
What about Aaron? Look at this. Look at the shoulders. He was trying to get that. See right there. That's what he was doing. Now it gets tripped up. But look what he does to the blocker. Right? He's turning the shoulders, and then all of a sudden he tripped up, and then the guy buries him. It's too easy. He gets clipped from behind.
So the center had to come and help and move him over the tackle's feet there to have any chance.
Yeah, I mean,
it still takes Wilson down.
I watch it. I mean, I'm sitting here and watch Sue. I want to throw up. Okay, he ain't doing shit. He's not working. I mean, you got to work this stuff, man. He ain't doing nothing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, look at Fowler. Look at Fowler. What are you doing? What are you doing? I sit there. That's exactly what I'd say in the meeting room. Where's the technique? I mean, where is it? That's what I would say. I sit there and I watch I just sit and I'm just a fan, man. My first favorite team was the New York Giants. There was no AFL when I was a young kid. My second favorite team became the Buffalo Bills. Okay. And in high school, my high school was the Red Raiders in Hornell, New York. Okay. And then I became a Raider fan. And then my head coach from Utah State was Eric Dickerson's running back coach. And I recruited to Los Angeles and I became a Rams fan. Okay. And those are my four favorite teams. All right. What four teams did I coach with in 20 years?
I was going to say, you kind of hit all your marks.
Nobody can say that. Nobody. But I coached at my four favorite teams, and I wear colors on all those teams. You know, I favored Rams because I'm here locally and all that. But I love all four of those teams.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the differences in alignments and if that creates any challenges, because he's here underneath Littleton. We can't see him real well, but with this kind of wide alignment, what does that change or impact anything or create expectations from what you're going to see from the offense?
Who are the best athletes on a football field?
Oh, I bet you different position coaches might give you some different answers on that one.
No, but the best athletes on the football field are normally the skill positions, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put a basketball team together, what are you going to do, right? Who are the worst athletes on a football field? I'm talking about athletes.
Those are usually your bigger guys.
Yeah, the offensive linemen, right? Okay, so what you do with your alignment, you make them come out into your world. That's why you line a little bit wider, or you just get them out of their comfort zone. You try to get them to come out into space. It gives you an advantage.
Well, let's see what it does for him here.
Well, they got a game. I mean, they're really running a blitz here. Okay, so really, this is designed for Corey Littleton. Okay, number 58. So they know right now in the protection that Stu and Aaron are going to occupy the blockers. Okay, and then Corey's going to come right up in the middle. This is just Wade, good stuff. Now, the guy who does a good job right here is Sue. He finally doing some technique. He's getting his body into the gap. He's got shoulder turn right there. He's trying to get to the back of the blocker. But then when the blocker comes off to pick up Corey, he's in great position. So he's putting himself in position, and there he is. Okay. All right. So now again, run it back. Okay. And just watch Aaron's left arm. Okay. Just watch his left arm. Watch how he doesn't rip the run with it. See how he's bringing it back into the blocker right there?
Yeah.
See it? Go ahead.
You can see his fist here, guys.
Not, the old days, you'd see that damn arm ripped up so high. But look, he's using that arm, and he uses the blocker to turn his hips. And look what happens. Just, boop, see it right there? You can see it at the end. You can see it there. Run it back. Run it back. Run it back. You got a good shot of that. Are they going to see this in slow-mo right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's a good shot. You can see it.
I mean, like I said, pointed right there, closing speed. Here we come.
Yeah. Look at the right hip. Left elbow controls the right hip. Right elbow controls the left hip.
So we're at right 3 technique now. I think this was that Mexico City game. It was about 700 points scored.
Yeah. Well, he's right now. He's just stuttering. He's just stuttering. He's trying to see how he's just doing little body shakes and stuff, and the guy starts leaning. So when he leans, when he starts leaning, all Aaron does is push his arms down. He brought his arms down. And I'm not watching Aaron. I don't watch Aaron. I just watching the blocker. I don't care what Aaron's doing. I just look at cause and effect. See, look at 56. Okay, run it back. Look at 56. Okay, let's look at some of these other guys. Okay, all right. So he goes in there to power rush. So I'm watching 56, and I go, "What are you doing? Lift it to a. Where's your long arm? Where's your long arm? Where's your long arm? Where's your long arm? Where is it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I said, no, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. Well, let's watch the other guys, Sue. What have you done to the blocker, Sue? Keep going. Keep going. See, he did. He did, but he got picked up by the center. But he was doing it. Look at his right arm. Look at the shoulders of the blocker. He had him. But it's cause and effect. What are you doing, 50? Nothing. Look at 50. Doing nothing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nothing. Nothing. Okay.
Got his hands caught and trapped.
Yeah, he's doing nothing. So that's what I do. I just look at, I sit there and you go, I expect something out of everybody, every play. Otherwise, come over and stand by me because you're doing nothing.
I really like that point of watching the offensive line. We've talked about that at some other positions. If you're watching receivers, watch some of the DBs, see if they can manipulate them, stuff like that. But again, the cause and effect of watching the linemen in this progression makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, you're not going to win every time, okay? But I want to see. I want to see mechanics. 50s. I remember this play. He did nothing and got a touchdown. I hope he's listening too. I really do. I don't care. I never really cared what players thought. I love them all, but it's a dog eat dog business, man.
There's no doubt.
You want to be the best. You better. You want to be the best. You got to work this stuff, man. All right. So going over the top. See how he's look at how he works the 75's upper arm. See it?
I want to try to get the right shot of this chop.
Yeah, the chop. This is OC.
It's so fast.
Well, that's the hard part about it. Okay, that's what I talk about speed. We that's what I'm saying. We do this stuff in slow-mo. And I said, we'll be working. Okay, I said, it's all, you're working your technique. Okay, so what happens is you have your rush plan. My rush plan for this week, okay, the chop club is going to be one of them. All right, inside move might be the other. Okay, because it matches up to the blocker. Right. So if you have low hands, you're going to chop. If a guy's a big puncher and he's a straight arm puncher, you ain't going to chop nothing. You ain't chopping nothing. But if you got to match up the technique. You got to match up to the hands to the 5 things that I gave you. Okay, so this guy's a low hand guy, but the key thing is, and this is a beautiful spot where you stopped it, Dan, right there. Okay, because his second thing, look how he's trying to control the shoulder with that right hand right there. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. All right, let it go. Okay.
All right, there again.
Watch. Okay, now watch the elbow. Watch the elbow and watch the right hip. Watch the elbow. Watch the right hip. Okay, let it go.
You're so right, because I think this might be the shot to really drill this home, because I can't tell you how many times I got taught, or hell, even when I started coaching, was teaching that rip, right? And you're in this position, you'd get up under his armpit and lift and all that stuff. And to watch his hips turn when he throws this left elbow back inside, it's instantaneous.
Yeah. I mean,
and we get
see
the
what
ball.
he does. No, wait a minute. Run it back. Okay. Now watch the lift on the blocker. So the blocker re-engages. Now watch his left arm. He had him off the ground. I got a beautiful picture. Okay. And in the crown of the old Giants stadium was, you couldn't see the feet, of the opponent across the stadium. Okay. And Michael Strahan was right on the top of that crown. And Joe Staley was a rookie. And we're playing the 49ers. And Michael went into a lift to the long arm. And Michael, it was his last year, and he had a photographer taking pictures of snapshots of every rush. And frame by frame, you can see the two hands lift the blocker, and then the long arm come, and Joe Staley in a uniform had to weigh at least 340 with a helmet and everything. And he's off the ground, 2 to 3 feet off the ground. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen captured on film. And I had that. It's in my other house in Northern California. But I love that segment of those pictures right there. And that is it in a nutshell. Okay, the lift to the long arm, because you have to do it in modern day football to prevent holding. I used to be the biggest crybaby, okay, with the officials, and I was a crybaby too, about the holding, okay, but they weren't calling it, so I had to come up with something else, okay, and this is the answer to holding. Watch Aaron's left arm, and just watch the blocker.
Yeah, I was going to say he's tilted. You can tell that right side's off the ground.
He's lifting him. They're off the ground. He lifted him off the ground with one arm. One arm. Now, see, he doesn't. See, again, now watch the quarterback, okay? So he's going for the ball, but he doesn't stop. He keeps rolling like he's wrestling an alligator. You see it?
Yep.
You see it? He did it. And see what happens to the quarterback's head, okay? Boom, that whiplash effect right there. Okay, enough said. That's another reason we do it. Snuck that one in there. Oh, that's funny. I'm having more fun than you are. Okay, now I learned this from Aaron. Okay, when he swipes, okay, right here, that's that swipe action right there. He does both hands at the same time. And he see right there when he's doing it, and again you can see the shoulder turn. Okay, so you get a puncher. Well, that's what you do. Okay, you swipe. He's trying to get both hands. Okay, Okay, to hit outside the hands. Okay, he doesn't care. He's trying to get outside the blocker's hands. So when you swipe, you're trying to get to that upper arm, and you're going to use both your hands outside that gap hand, both hands. And Aaron did it at Pitt, and I showed him the clip, and I go, man, that is the coolest thing ever, And it's something he came up with. It was really cool. I used to try to get one hand to hit the inside hand like he is right now, and one hand hitting the outside hand. Not good enough. And put you outside the blocker. You want to get both hands outside the hands. And this is used against a puncher. But now he rips the run. Watch how he puts his arm way up in the air when he's running. He's ripping the run right now. Watch it. Watch how he rips that arm. He ain't ripping run. He's sticking the elbow into the body. And he turns his hip. You see it?
Yeah.
Most coaches say, rip high, rip high, rip high, rip high. No, he turned his hip. All he had to do is turn his hip when he took that elbow. You take that elbow and he's sticking it right in his ribs, and it turns his hip. Right there, when his hip turns, that's how he controlled it. He controlled it with his left arm.
And then Gator.
He's trying to gator. But it's hard for the quarterback to throw, you see. No matter what, his body would be turning.
Back over on the left side.
Yeah. Now he moved into.
I was just gonna ask you about this slight adjustment back inside here.
Yeah, he's going power to inside. He knows right now he's going to power the guy. Okay, and but he does it. He just lifts with his right arm. Watch his right arm. Watch the blocker's shoulder. Just watch the blocker. It's the right arm that controlled him when he did it. It's hard to stop on that. You have to let it go fast. But that's all he did. And now watch what he's doing. When he's coming over the top, he's getting to the back of the shoulder, getting the back of that tricep. You see it? That's the key. That's how he got by. He's going to the back of the tricep. With his left arm, he's going to the back of the blocker's tricep. Watch. So you keep it tight. See, he's going to the back of his arm. See it?
Yep.
Once you control the back of his shoulder right there, you're home free.
And then he sinks that right elbow in on the second.
Yeah, and then guess it turned his hip, but he's pressing against 60 with his right elbow. He's not ripping to run. See, that's why you never see that high rip. That pressure of that elbow is sticking right into number 60.
So I think we can get a shot of it here because you talked about the control of this right hand and what he does. You're gonna see him move right there.
Yeah, he moved his shoulder. Okay, now he's controlling the upper arm. That's what he's doing, is controlling the upper arm. Now he's going for the back of the tricep with his left arm elbow. Look at it. He's going to the back of the tricep. You see it?
Yep.
So he's going right to the back of the tricep. Okay. Now watch what he does with his right elbow.
You can see his
the
right elbow. Here. He's prepping his right arm.
Yeah. Now his right arm is going back into that blocker right there. Okay, and then it sets his hips right towards the quarterback. See how his hip turned? Just turned enough to get to the quarterback. Best thing he did is get the ball out.
Again, he has such
number one. That's our main objective. The quarterback position for all you coaches out there is the most vulnerable player on the field to cause a fumble.
And we've seen what, 4 of them I think so far in just this exposure, and this isn't the whole season.
It's number one, man. It's number one. It's all you're thinking about. It's all you're thinking. You're not tackling them. Oh, this is great. This is Chop Club all the way.
Oh,
Osi Umenyiora. That's Osi. 1, 2, 3. You see it right there. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Run it again.
Let's bring that back. We'll slow it down for everybody.
There it is.
His hands were so fast. I don't know if anybody saw it.
Ayupati too, man. He beat he this is not his first rodeo using this against him. That's Ayupati, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I think it is. Okay.
Alex, you want to verify what we got for 78 here in 2018? But there's that left hand. There's that chop.
It's over the top. Okay. He's working to the club, but see, look at the shoulder turn. See, the harder you club, the more shoulder turn you get. Okay. Now watch when he comes over the top. See how he's going to come back to the upper arm. See, he's coming back to follow through. He's coming back and he's pushing himself. You're going to use that hand to use his body to push you into the quarterback. No. See how he gators him? I love it. He just loves doing it. He just likes throwing. He's like, I don't want to swear, but I just
you can let loose if you need to.
I don't want to. I just out of respect. Okay, but it's just his way of just like sending a message. I love it, and it's safe. It's safe. It is safe.
This is Arizona was hurt, and they were obviously going through a few names here. Colby Gossett was 78. Colby's not feeling good the day after this one.
No. That's I was thinking. I remember Ayupati went there, but it's too easy. It's like stealing. He can't do anything to stop that. The best chop club guy I had because he was so fast was Osi. And Osi probably got the ball out more than anybody else, man. It was amazing. And then Robert Quinn studied Osi Umenyiora to death. Robert Quinn was one of the most beautiful chop club guys. But it was hard for him to come over the top because his arms were so long. So he used to finish with a rip and to the point. Okay, and that's how he turned. He'd come around that corner like crazy.
Well, Colby's going to have to continue to battle here. We had him in a wide alignment.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great job. Great job by Sue. Sue does this whole thing. I met with the Canadian Football League. I was on a Zoom call the other day. Okay, and we were doing film. I was coaching him up, and he was asking me about pass rush games, and I said, "This is what you do in pass rush games. These offensive linemen just sit there and stand there and punch on you all day long. Okay, but when you run a game, you get a little payback, okay? And this is a payback right here. You come in there with your pad level as low as you can, and you just freaking send a message to those guys, and come in there and be physical, knock the crap out of them. He hits him with his forearm right here, okay? Number 64. He hits the center with his forearm, knocks him down. And now, when you're doing pass rush game, coaches, okay, you're trying to get a 2-on-1 on number 70 on the guard. So the first penetrator, it's a 2-on-1 right now. We're getting a 2-on-1 on him. That's the answer, okay? Now, Aaron is selling the outside rush, and he's hitting on his third step now, okay? So he's coming up, and he's hitting on his third step.
How tight he comes on that path, too.
Yeah, he's just you know what you do when you're the second when you're the looper, Okay, you try to make your pass rush move off the penetrator. That's why you're tight.
I mean, he's coming right off his butt.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing is when you come around, this one time you try to stay square. Now watch when he comes around, you got to get square. See how square he is right there?
Yeah.
So your hips are pointed up the field. It's very important when you're coming around because you're kind of running sideways, but you got to be square. And then once you come to the moment of truth, now your hips are pointed in the right direction.
And again, you meant talk about controlling that upper arm. That Sue gets right underneath that elbow and control that upper arm.
Yeah, he does a good job. You can see technique. I love technique. It's to me. I never tried to be a coordinator. I mean, I could have done it. I never tried to be a head coach. I could have done it, but I like my little SEAL team. You know what I mean? I like the little Marine Corps recon group here, and that's what I had. And I like the combativeness of the defensive line. In my opinion, they are the most physical, nastiest human beings of all sports. I'd put any of my guys up against MMA guys. They would go down there and use them as toothpicks. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I love the MMA and all that, but come on, man, really? It's a thing of beauty watching these guys. I love technique watching it.
Right, well, Aaron's going for the sack record here against Arizona alone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Inside move. I mean, he's watch his track. See what he does? He's selling a speed track right here, and he hits it on his second step because he's got his inside hand down. He knows he's going to hit it on his second step. See it?
Yeah.
Okay. So your inside hand, it's even numbers. Okay, 2 and 4. Okay, if you have the outside hand down, it's odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5.
This is again for everybody. We're talking about taking this vertical track here before he breaks inside.
Yeah. See where his eyes are? His eyes are everything. His eyes are selling up the field. His eyes and everything makes it look like it's a speed rush.
Yeah. Unreal.
I mean, he's just a martial arts guy. That's all he is. I mean, look at him right here. See, this is what I talk about with get off and stuff. I see, you get off. You want to get. Where's the ball? Close the distance between you and the ball. Deacon Jones said, "Close the distance between you and the ball as fast as you possibly can." Why would they fearsome force him? Merlin Olsen was the most brilliant Utah State grad, okay, but most brilliant, okay.
Shameless plug.
Defensive lineman in the history of the NFL. When I talked to Jack Youngblood, Jack was like my assistant coach when we were in St. Louis, and he came for a week and we had a blast. But I mean, he said Merlin was the guy, and Deacon had the speed, but Merlin was the one that taught everybody everything. And it's just close the distance between you and the quarterback as quick as you can. Like you and the ball carrier. I mean, you can't sit and read. Read books, man. Play football. Okay, read some books. All right, you gotta sit there and read. What are you gonna read? Tell me what you're gonna read. Freaking go get your hands on a blocker, get beyond the blocker, and make a play. I get so sick and tired of this reading stuff and two gap and yuck. I'm retired now. I can stay.
I was going to say, you can get after it now. I like this Waufle. All right, so let's bump it forward a year. We moved to 2019 early season here. Right 3 technique.
All right, so he comes back. He went to go to the inside. Okay, he lifts him, but you can see he comes back with that right arm. He comes back with a lift with the right arm, right there. See it? Oh. See, because I don't look at Aaron. I look at the blocker, so you can see. Well, geez, the blocker looks like a drunk. All right, well, he makes him look bad because he takes that one arm right there. See, he can see it. It's kind of once you got once you know the answers and you watch film, it's too easy.
Yeah, that's unfair. That's unfair to come back on that.
I'm just saying it's too easy. You can identify it. You can see it. Okay. Because I mean, either you're doing something or you're not. Okay. So you got to do something.
So I think here's our fluker matchup. Tried to cut him.
They tried to cut him. Yeah, but see, they just tried to cut him. I mean,
that's the luck.
But the biggest thing is watch his shoulder turn. See, and look at his hips. See, so every great rush has a shoulder turn. All right, let it go. Okay, now look at the difference over here with Brockers. Now Brockers and I coach Michael and drafted Michael. Okay, but Michael's so tall it's too easy. You know, like cutting down a redwood, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Michael Brockers should never get anywhere. No, he should never get out of that eight gap, man. He should be a nose tackle. He's a beautiful, beautiful player at nose tackle. It's just
He's
a
a
waste.
hell of a player in there.
Oh, it's just a waste. It's just a waste of a football player. I'm sorry. It's just me. He was so good. What's a better combination than Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers in there? Oh my gosh, it was like Henry Thomas and John Randall. I mean, holy cow! Why you would change that? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Kidding me? All right.
So talk to me about when we have a C gap opportunity here. And obviously we're watching him mostly rushing in the B gap and taking some A, but talk to me about C gap when you talk with a player like this.
Well, if the guy's a fish, okay, I would put Aaron out there. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste my time. Okay, go ahead. I mean, why put him farther away from the foot? It's okay. It's a blitz. That's fine. It's a blitz. It's a blitz. But look at the chop club. You see it. It's a beautiful thing. He looks like Osi. He looks like Osi. Look at, but see how he gets the upper arm. See? Controls the upper arm. See the elbow. See, that's the key.
Oh yeah,
that's the key. All right.
I mean,
it helps turn your hip. It helps help turns your hips too. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's completely pointed back inside.
Because the harder you club, the more shoulder turn you get, and it helps your hips. Okay. But again, do you see him rip the run here? No. He's taking the point of that elbow and just going to try to break his ribs.
He does. That's fascinating. I can't tell. I mean, I'm just counting up the number of times I've been taught to rip and run or listen to rip and run, and just watching him stay on this elbow, drive his right elbow in, get his hips all the way pointed down. I mean,
well, you know, my wife asked me, and I do a lot of these things. I had a coordinator from Alabama come fly out. You know, David Aranda came out. They have to come to my house. I'll teach it to you. You got to come to my house. David Aranda, the LSU coordinator, he came to my house, and I'll teach it to. I mean, I teach him. I'll teach my system. I'll teach it to you if you ask, because I went to the best my whole life. Okay, and I had a professor. His name was Dale Nelson at Utah State, working on my master's in exercise physiology. Him and Professor Nalder wrote the books and exercise physiology. These guys helped me with the body mechanics more than anybody else. This has nothing to do with football. This is the body mechanics. So I took my body mechanics from Dr. Dale Nelson, and I applied all these body mechanics. And these body mechanics came from my exercise physiology classes that I took when I was a young coach. And so I combined that. But Dr. Nelson taught me something that was just the best thing that helped me more than anything else. He says, Mike, if you want to be the best, you go to the best and find out how they do it. And I did. And nobody ever charged me a dime. I went to the best defensive lineman in the National Football League and sat down with them. I mean, I started with Joe Green and Randy White and Too Tall Jones and all the way to Howie Long. I mean, every great defensive lineman, I went and interviewed them, and I asked them how they played the game. I interviewed them. I asked them how they played the game. And then I went to the best D-line coaches, you know, and it was, you know, Earl Leggett and John Turlink. And I mean, you know, Rod Marinelli was my coach. Okay. John Turlink taught Rod Marinelli and I, and Rod Marinelli was my coach. And we used to bounce everything off of each other all the time. And you know, those are the great names of the great defensive line coaches. And so I said, I'm going to give back. I'm going to give back to football because everybody gave it to me. I took the material, I used it, developed a system. I was always frustrated because nobody could hand me a book. Like my playbook is 25 pages long, and it has everything from protections and all the offenses. 25 pages long, okay? And it has the answer to everything that I'm just giving you right now. And I have a number. It's right here in front of me. The number is 1837, okay? And I read a lot of Emerson and Thoreau. And Woody Hayes did too. And so I met with Woody Hayes one-on-one in 1984. And I was talking to Coach Hayes, and I said, you know what, 1837, Coach Hayes. Because what's that, Mike? I says, it's very difficult to be simple enough to be good, and he loved that. I mean, he thought that was the greatest thing ever, you know. And that's the problem with some of these genius coaches. Okay, yes, you're brilliant. Okay, you're brilliant, and I love it. And I work with some brilliant coaches. I just love their intelligence. But the thing is that simplicity and being able to apply it, and so the players can really play the game, and that was the thing that I learned. Okay, and then from all those great coaches, and I'm able to pass on to everybody else. I've been, other NFL coaches get a hold of me on the system. There's a lot of guys that, like I told you, Canadian Football League, the Pac-12. I mean, so I'm trying to help. I just help coaches, but you got to come to my house. You can come to my house. I'll teach it to you. You got to come to my house. And guess what? It doesn't last more than 2 hours. It doesn't. You can learn everything. That's the simplicity of it. It's so simple. Now you can play and you perform. But the key thing is that when I had guys working on their own and I'd see them chatting, and I go, hey guys, do you got 1,000 reps yet? Okay, so when you get 1,000 reps, okay, then you can talk. But until you get 1,000 reps, don't sit there and visit. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my little appeal, but I
think everybody needs to hear that, and I got a sneaking suspicion on some people that are going to want to book travel to California.
Yeah, but I'm just, well, I know, I get it, but I get it, but it'd have to be. But I'm just saying the thing is that I really feel like I give back that way, and I don't really have my wife had 2 strokes, okay, and I'm throwing this out for all the women out there. I'm not your homemaker, okay, kind of guy, but for the last 18 months, that's what I was doing. She decided to sleep in this morning, and I'm like getting all nervous because I had to, cook her breakfast, before we did this thing. But I cook, I clean, I vacuum, I dust, do all the laundry. I got to do it all. She's still recovering. And, so my hat goes off to all the women out there that do it. I couldn't even imagine taking care of kids too. I mean, holy cow, it's a lot, and it's only the 2 of us, and it's a lot, and I got so much respect for all the housewives in the world. And so that's why I'm coaching anymore right now. So I got to take care of her.
God bless you for doing that. And I'm going to sneak in my shout out to my wife. She's pregnant right now with our 4th while taking care of my 3 toddlers. So
yeah, well, that's it. That's out to her, Dan. Okay, I just
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, let's get back into some Donald here. We got him at the left 3 technique. Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now this is really good. Okay, because this is just in and out. Okay. He does a great job. First of all, he's selling the inside move of alignment, number 1. He lined wide, number 1. Okay. And then the second thing is he's going in for the inside move. Okay. But now he just comes back and look at where he's working. He's working you can see the blocker. He's working the upper arm. See it?
Every time he's attached to that upper arm.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. He's a technician. Okay. Now to run it back. Let's look at the left end. Watch his right elbow. Watch his right elbow. Now just think if he had dug that point right back into that blocker.
Yeah.
See, he could have turned his hips better. He ran right by him. Waste of time. It's a wasted rush.
And you can see it. Let me just bring it back for everybody here. You're going to see him use the common teach book. Right here, he drops it for that rip. And he's just reaching for him the whole time.
Oh, watch number 90. So Brock knows how to do this stuff too. Okay. All right. But look at Brock right now. See what he does with his arm. Now you got to remember Michael's tall, man. He's almost 6'6". Okay.
Yeah.
Look at how he gets the length of that arm. Watch the center's body, right? Okay, let it go. Right there. I mean, he had him. He comes back. Now look what he does. He takes it with the other arm. Comes back. Same technique. Bring it down. Boom.
Those 2 in tandem. You were blessed there, Coach. That's a heck of a combo to work with.
That's where Michael belongs. I hope the Rams are listening. They just signed him again. Okay, I hope they put him back in the A gap. I hope the coordinator's listening. It's a waste of time, man. He's such a good A gap player. Well, my opinion. You watch his film back. When I was coaching him, And God, he's one of the best nose tackles in the league. My gosh, he took a lot of pride in it. Well, watch that. Watch the right elbow. Okay, now this is the swipe. Both hands outside. See it? It's
Bring it
Aaron,
back and
this
slow
isn't
it down.
I didn't teach him this move. This is Aaron's move. So when he gets a puncher, he takes both hands outside. Okay, and you have to go to a rip move when you do this. It's natural, but he tries to take both hands outside. See, both hands outside that arm. Watch the rip and see it come back. Now, Dan, did you watch this tape beforehand?
No, I mean, when I put it together, I saw some of it, but I didn't study it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, you saw some of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you know all the little intricacies of it.
Absolutely.
Look at you can see it. There it is.
I'm also dying at this set here from '62.
Yeah. Well,
the immediate pivot seems like a bold strategy.
Yeah. Aaron is the only player because he lives real close, and we lived a mile apart from each other until he got his new contract and he moved over to Calabasas big time. But he came out in our backyard, and so all this, we just did a lot of this. He's the only guy that I've coached since I've retired. And I talked to Michael on the phone too, Brockers. I talked to him on the phone, but physically met with Aaron and going through this stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He puts it into practice so well. I mean, again, the consistency of it.
Well, the thing is it takes time. I mean, if I had another year in Buffalo, and those guys would have been a lot better at it, And it takes time. It takes time. You can get it. We went to the playoffs that year, and they haven't been in 17 years. So a lot of good things were happening. So. But the ball, I'll tell you what, our secondary was outstanding. Leslie Frazier, outstanding coordinator, and outstanding head coach, Sean McDermott. And I'll tell you what, we put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We were like ranked very high in the NFL as far as quarterback hits and pressures. And we were in the top 2 or 3. But they weren't the most talented guys. They couldn't have started at the Rams. None of those guys. I mean, I love. Kyle Williams, but I mean, he couldn't beat Aaron out,
Sure.
At that time. I love them, but and those guys were a great unit, and they played hard, and they were a great team together. But the technique right now, is just it takes time. It takes time. You got to work at it all the time. Need 1,000 reps, That's just an effort. That's an effort. It's a scheme. That's a scheme.
Oh yeah. Well, but I just like the way he sells it. He'll commit to the 2 steps. He took a tighter track the last go round.
Yeah, it's good. I just love the way he takes quarterbacks.
he really enjoys it.
Because I always wanted him to, go down on the ground and lay on him and make him feel a little body weight and stuff. He just likes throwing him down. Inside move. That's awesome. Isn't that great? That's great.
I'm going to slow it down, see if we can get him when he pins this arm.
Yeah, but see, you can see it, but he's working why do you think the blocker's body goes forward? He's working the upper. That's martial arts, man. The guy that really helped me a lot with the martial arts, he was LAPD Metro, did some SWAT stuff, but his name is Steve Ulrich. Okay. And Steve came to the Rams and worked with me. I met him at the Pro Bowl. We were over at the Pro Players, took us over the Pro Bowl. I think when Michael and Osi took us then in 2005, I met him then. And I've been working with him. He's the only martial arts guy that made sense. And he's the only one. And he's the one that taught me the upper arm thing.
And I'm glad he did because I'm enjoying watching it in practice.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. You wanted me to talk pass rush, and I can only do it with Aaron because he's the only one that can do it, that does it all. He is a 10th degree black belt. Okay, there's 10th degree is the highest.
Well, the number of times I have to slow it down frame by frame to even attempt to show off his hands, they're pretty fast.
But you can see. I mean, how does he go outside right here, and all of a sudden his hips turn right back into the blocker? It's crazy. Now look at Fowler. Fowler was ripping to run. Look at him. Watch 56 go inside. Yeah, he tries to rip real high. He rips real high. Look what happens. The offensive lineman pulled him right down. Did nothing. Let it run back. Run it back. I want to see something.
Gotcha.
I want to see something. I got a lot of respect for Clay Matthews. I love him, man. He's a great rusher. See, See, he does right there. Look what he does with his hands. See, he does good. He knocks the hands down. He's there. He had a great teacher in Kevin Green. Great teacher.
He had some years in Green Bay now.
What's that?
He had some great years in Green Bay.
Oh, he had some great years. Oh, man, great years. I mean, I think another person that's just got a really good feel for all this stuff is Kevin Green.
Now, did he get? He was with the Jets. That was under Todd's staff, right? He's not still there, is he?
He's not coaching right now.
Okay.
Shame. There's so many guys coaching right now that don't know what the heck they're doing. It just drives me nuts watching them. It's awful. That's just me. It's awful.
Well, Aaron's going to abuse again the inside move here.
Yep. See how? But when he does it, see where his target is? The tricep. You see it?
Yep. Every time.
He's hitting the back of the tricep and then control the shoulder. Now, he just doesn't assume that he's going to get through there. Okay. A lot of guys do, and they just get knocked. He's using his inside arm, okay, to push off. He's getting to the back of the second guy. If you're to the back, you're free. Look at that. So that's
every time.
But how does his hips turn back to the quarterback?
Yeah.
You see it? It's the body mechanics of that left elbow.
That's something else.
Yeah. I say a lot of this stuff, man. A lot of it really came, I tell Dr. Dale Nelson, he's passed away now, but man, a lot of it is just the body mechanics of how this controls that and that controls this. And, it's cool stuff.
Well, Coach, we got a chance to hear a bit about your backstory as we went through those pieces. And again, some of the people that have taught you along the way, but you mentioned that Aaron's, the only guy that kind of puts it all together. I don't have words. It's too much fun to watch him do that. It's damn near unfair. But what are your kind of final thoughts after going through that?
Well, I love him. He's like a son to me. Okay, and we still communicate quite a bit. And it's so fun that at the end of my career, to know that all of this came together. It doesn't happen, and there is a frustrated coach, young coach, that wanted to develop a system that worked, that was unstoppable, and it works for everyone. I mean, I've seen a lot of players. I mean, the list made a lot of. I say it this way, and I say this not boasting, okay, but it's the truth. I made a lot of backup players a lot of money, okay, and because of this system, and I trusted everybody. If you ever watched, I mean, I rotated so many guys. Michael Strahan says, "I'm not coming off the field." Yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you're going to play hard. Michael, we need you in the 2-minute at the end of the half, and we need you in the 2-minute at the end of the game. Yes, you are, Michael. You're going to play hard all the time. I cut up all his tapes when I got to the New York Giants. I cut up everything, and we first met, and we met for 2 hours in my office, and we watched all the cut up, and he loved it. Nobody had ever done that for him before, and I cut up all his run stuff and everything. And we went through every segment and how I was going to teach a lot of things, and then I showed him a cut up of my Raider stuff at the Chop Club and all the stuff at the Raiders, and I said, I'm going to teach you this, and he got to the door in my office. He's walking out in Giant Stadium, and I go, hey, come here, I want you to look at these 8 plays. There are 8 loafs, the worst loafs. He wouldn't even finish in the play. I said, you will never do that ever playing for me, ever. Okay. And if you ever watched him practice, okay, we called it STB, sprint to the ball, STB. And I used to give him STBs in practice. And who led every practice? Michael did, sprinting to the ball. Now Tuck used to say, well, Waufle, he only practices, not as many plays as we do. I said, he's older, I'm taking care of him. But when he does practice, he runs to the ball, and he ran to the ball on Sundays, and they all did. And we loved that unit, and we won a world championship.
I was privileged to see it up close, and it was a hell of an experience young in my career to be there and see that. So, but again, I appreciate all your mentorship and support over the years. It's been great learning from you. We've learned more today. I know everybody has. So I'm excited to see what the feedback is from people on this one. And just thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to have you back at some point.
Well, thank you, Dan. And yeah, I'd come back. I have some really good philosophies on the run game. It's very simple, okay, and it works. Greg Williams he's brilliant, brilliant coordinator, and he really taught me a lot of neat things that are really some good stuff that are good principles that you can apply at any level. And so I'd like to do that. But I want to shout out today. I want to shout out to all the families who lost a loved one over the years. Okay, today's Memorial Day. I'm a big, full-blooded Marine, man. I mean, that's why I don't mind cleaning the house, okay? Because man's got to do what a man's got to do. But all the veterans out there and all you wives that your husbands are overseas and stuff, and I just want to thank everybody on Memorial Day, and I hope that God's close to your heart, okay? As far as if you lost a loved one recently, and hopefully he'll comfort you.
No, I echo those words. And again, thank you so much to everybody for joining us. And we'll see you again here next time. Thanks, guys.